welcome. Let me get the recording started. Welcome everyone to day 14 of our meditation journey. Today, you can see my background is different. I'm joining you from my temple space. So I finally got my internet powerful enough to broadcast down here. So I want to welcome you to day 14 of our 30-day meditation challenge. And we have officially come into or completed week 2 of our challenge together. So before we move into practice today, I really want to acknowledge this 14 days of intentionally showing up, sitting with yourself, breathing, observing, feeling, and returning again and again. So over these last 2 weeks, we've been exploring what happens when we begin to observe with more awareness and less judgment. We've practiced coming home to the body. We've worked with the breath and the nervous system. We've observed the thinking mind. We've looked at the stories we tell ourselves and practiced remembering that just because we think something doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. You know, the mind does what it wants, and through our practice of meditation, we can come to a more place of acceptance and compassion. So we've also practiced creating space between the stimulus and response. And today's about integration. Integration is what happens when something we've been intentionally practicing begins to become part of who we are and how we naturally move through the world. At the beginning of meditation practice, awareness can feel like something we're trying very hard to do. So, we pay attention to the breath, then we forget. Then we come back to the breath. So then we're, meditating, and then we're thinking about breakfast or some to-do list comes up. You witness it, then you return to the breath. So something begins to happen through repetition. Awareness starts following us off the meditation cushion and into our everyday lives. Maybe you're having a conversation and suddenly notice, tension building in your body. Maybe you're becoming irritated and another part of you notices the irritation and you get in front of it. So maybe you recognize that you're about to react and suddenly there's a pause where there wasn't one before. That pause is important. Awareness creates choice because a lot of our reactions are practice habits and they become survival patterns. So by expanding our awareness, we begin to choose how to respond with more compassion, with more awareness and more presence. So the goal isn't becoming someone who never gets triggered, who never has difficult thoughts or never experiences painful emotions. That's not the goal at all because we are human. The practice is learning to become present enough to notice what is happening inside of us while all these things are happening. So eventually awareness becomes more natural, and awareness is not perfection. I want to empathize that because meditation, because sometimes we begin practicing meditation and then we create another standard to judge ourselves by. I shouldn't think this way, or I shouldn't be angry. I should be calmer by now. And that's not the goal of meditation. But awareness isn't about becoming perfect. Awareness means, I'm angry, I'm afraid, I'm telling myself a story, my body is tense, I'm judging myself right now. So it's being able to witness the self and not necessarily judge the self. And instead of immediately becoming consumed by what we're experiencing, there's a little bit of spaciousness around it. We become curious. We ask what's happening here. What is this emotion trying to show me? Do I need to act right now, or can I sit with this first? This is where meditation begins becoming something much bigger than the time we spend sitting with our eyes closed. The practice builds capacity of the nervous system to deal with the challenges of everyday life. So today we're going to, practice what we've been practicing over these 2 weeks and just continue to integrate our practice and meditation into our daily lives. So come into a comfortable seated position. Before we move, close your eyes, place your hands gently on your thighs, and allow yourself to fully arrive in this present moment. Taking some slow, deep yogic breaths, fully expanding the lower abdomen, breathing into the ribs and the side body, and then finally take that last sip of air to fill up the upper chest. At the height of that inhale, you pause for a second, and then you slowly start to exhale through the nose. So just continue this breathing pattern for a few breaths. Maybe thinking about the last 2 weeks of practicing meditation. Maybe you weren't able to show up every day, but that's okay. The important thing is to return to the practice, reaffirm your commitment, and you keep going. So acknowledge yourself, and you're showing up the best as you can. And ultimately, we're all human, and we're doing the best that we can with the resources and the knowledge that we have. And by showing up, practicing live or on the replays, you are building your capacity and you're expanding your knowledge base and what you have access to. You're expanding your capacity, your nervous system, to be more regulated, to be more grounded and centered. So as we move forward with 2 more weeks to go, think about your intention for coming to this practice, why you said yes, and think about your intention moving forward. Just inhaling and exhaling, breathing in deep, long breath out, and notice your body before changing anything. Where do you feel open? Where do you feel tight? Where are you holding? Where is there ease? We're not trying to fix anything. We're practicing noticing. So deepening the breath. As we begin to move into the movement practices that prepare us for deeper meditation, always remember to keep your focus on the breath, even in the movement. If all you do is practice deep breathing during this practice, it is more than perfect. Because as I have stated before, the mind follows the breath and the breath follows the mind. So if all you do and all you take from this practice is knowing how to breathe fully and correctly, that will begin to bring you into a state of nervous system regulation and also more presence and into a kind of more natural meditation, simply by tuning into the breath, expanding the breath, and anchoring into the body and the present moment. That is the invitation. So let's start to move into our movement practice, moving into the shoulders. Maybe inhaling the shoulders forward, exhaling them down and back. And all these movement suggestions are just that, suggestions. I always encourage you to listen to your body and to do the movements that your body is calling for. I love to just start with the shoulders and the neck because we just always hold so much tension in these areas. That's why there's the saying where someone says, I feel like I'm carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders. Because energetically, we store a lot of tension there. So if we bring our awareness to these areas of tightness and tension and intentionally breathe in, creating more space, we can start to lessen the accumulation of that heaviness and tension in these areas. Reverse the shoulder direction here. Always being aware of the breath, deepening the breath. Now you can release the arms and now bring the left ear to the left shoulder. Now the opposite side, right ear to the right shoulder. And just do this a few times. Going to the left side, taking one full complete breath. Then going to the right side. Now drop the chin forward toward the chest. And just feel that lengthening of the neck. Inhaling and exhaling. Now look up. Inhaling deep breath. Exhaling, looking back down, chin to the chest. Complete breath, inhaling and exhaling. Inhale up, look up again. Exhale, releasing the chin to the chest, and start with some neck circles. Inhaling up to the right, exhaling, coming back down. And just be aware of the micro movements here. Because sometimes when you roll to one side, you might tense the other shoulder. So just try to be aware of all the muscles. And even in your doing, strive to find some stillness and relaxation. When you're ready, you can reverse and go to the right. Inhaling and exhaling, letting the breath guide the movement. When you're ready, you can return to stillness and just witness the breath here for a moment. And now let's move into spinal flexors. So holding on to the knees, you're going to inhale the chest forward, exhaling, curving the spine. So these are like seated cat-cows. Inhale, opening, expanding the chest. Exhaling, curving the spine. Really breathing powerful here. Making the breath audible if you can. Inhaling, filling up the lower abdomen with air, and as you exhale, you contract the abdomen, letting out all the stale air. And just find your rhythm here. Really feeling into the movement, deepening into the breath. And maybe for the last few rounds, speed it up a little bit. Make the breath even more deep and powerful. Few more. Now inhale, hold the breath. Exhaling slowly. Now just enter into that stillness. Feel the effects of that movement and breath practice. And just rest here, witnessing the breath, any sensations. Feeling the expansion of your energy. So for our next movement, we're going to do some spinal twists. You're going to bring the fingers on top of the shoulders. You're going to inhale here, exhale and twist toward the left. Inhaling center, exhaling twist to the right. Continue this movement, inhaling center, twist and exhale to the left. Inhaling center, exhale and twist to the opposite side. And just continue this movement and the breath. And now when you inhale to the center again, you can drop the arms. Now inhale, twist to the left, putting the arms down by your side to the left side, and just hold it here. Inhaling and exhaling. This twist gives your internal organs a massage, and the breath in the twist also does the same, giving the body and the internal organs some inner massage. And when you release the twist, you bring fresh oxygenated blood back into those organs. When you're ready, you can release. Take a big inhale, twist, and exhale to the next side. And just hold it here, inhaling and exhaling for a few breaths. When you're ready, you can inhale and release the position. Now today I'm going to introduce a new pranayama. It's called Bharami, or the humming bee breath, right? So it's called Bharami comes from the Sanskrit word associated with bee. So because on the exhale, we create a soft humming or buzzing sound. It has been shown to calm the nervous system, reduce stress, and gently activate the parasympathetic response. And it's a beautiful practice for drawing our attention inward. And today I want you to pay attention not only to the sound, but to what happens after the sound ends. So I'm just going to demonstrate for you first, and then I'll guide you through the practice. So there's also some finger placements here. So the thumb is going to cover the ears gently. Then these fingers rest at the top of the eyes, here by the nose, on top of the lips, and then below. And I'm just going to inhale. And that long, the buzzing is that long exhale. So we're just going to continue this practice, inhaling, and then a long exhale with the buzz. So prepare your hands. Inhale through the nose. And then exhale. Inhale and continue. Few more rounds. Inhaling, exhaling through this buzzing sound. When you're ready, you can lower your arms and rest in the stillness, letting the breath return to normal. Inhaling and taking that long exhale. Resting in the stillness, feeling the effects of the practice, and just witnessing the breath. Keeping the eyes closed, allow your breath to return completely to normal. There is nothing you need to control now. Just sit. Notice the lingering vibration from our pranayama practice. Maybe you still feel something around the face or inside your head. Whatever is here is okay. Begin with the breath. Know that breathing is happening. You don't have to breathe in any specific way. Just feel the body breathing itself. Inhaling, exhaling, all happening naturally and automatically. Now expand your awareness to include the body. Feel where your body makes contact with the floor, the cushion, or the chair. Feel your clothing against your skin. Notice the temperature, the pressure, any tingling or sensation or ease, whatever is present. Now allow sound into your awareness. The sound of my voice, the sounds inside the room, the sounds outside, and the sounds nearby. You don't need to identify the sound. Simply listen and expand your awareness. Notice that you don't have to reach for it. Hearing happens naturally. Now notice your thoughts. Don't try to stop thinking. Instead, becoming interested in the fact that you can notice your thoughts. A thought appears, maybe an image, a memory, something about yesterday, something about today. And instead of allowing or following every thought, see whether you can simply recognize thinking and you let it pass. Another thought may come immediately, and that's okay. Notice that thought too. You don't have to fight the mind. You're learning to simply observe it. Now become aware of emotion. What is the emotional tone inside of you right now? Maybe you feel peaceful, tender, joyful, maybe a little sad. Maybe there isn't a strong emotion at all. Whatever is here, let it be here. You don't have to immediately change what you feel. See if you can simply say internally, This is what is moving through me right now. Simply witness and come back to the breath. Whatever arises, you witness and you return to the present moment through the breath. Sometimes our emotions need our presence more than they need an instant solution. So let yourself experience what is here in this present moment without immediately trying to create a story around it or changing it to be different. Simply expand your awareness. Notice and witness. Witnessing the breath, the body, sounds, thought, emotion, all of it happening, all of it in constant flux and change. And something in you is aware of all of it. Rest there. Rest in that awareness. This natural expanded awareness, you can say, is the true and permanent self. The more we practice meditation, the more we sit and observe and become curious about the self, returning to the breath, we can start beginning to move beyond the monkey mind and the egoic thoughts. And we find that we tap into moments of expansion, moments of stillness, moments of peace. And over time, these moments become more frequent, more longer as our states. And we begin to tap more and more into the natural self, the naturalness. Coming back to the breath. Again and again. Allow yourself to rest in this awareness. Deepening into the present moment. Allowing yourself to be here now. Allowing yourself to feel into gratitude. Feeling into gratitude for your body, for the decision that you made to be here in this practice. Feel into gratitude for all the moments that have led up to this now moment. All that has brought you here. While all of it hasn't been pleasant, all of it has contributed to your growth, bringing you toward more healing, bringing you toward this meditation practice. to return home to your heart, return home to your true self. Now bring your awareness back to the breath. Feel the inhale, feel the exhale, and notice your body sitting here. And ask yourself quietly, what has changed in the way that I observe myself? Don't try to come up with an answer. Maybe you're noticing your thoughts sooner. Maybe you recognize when you're caught up in a story. Maybe you're becoming more aware of your body. Maybe you're allowing yourself to feel emotions instead of immediately suppressing them. And maybe you're catching your reactions before acting on them. Maybe you're becoming more compassionate with what you find inside of yourself. And maybe the change is simple. You're simply noticing more and becoming more present. And that is enough. Take another deep breath in and a long exhale. We've spent this practice becoming aware of our inner world and tending to it. But as we've been practicing, this practice is not only just for ourselves. The peace we cultivate, the awareness we develop, the compassion we learn to offer others, all of this becomes part of what we're bringing into our relationships, into our communities, into the work that we do, and out into the world. So now let's allow our awareness to expand outward. Bring to mind the people you love, your family, your community, maybe even people that you have some challenges with. Bring to mind areas in the world where there's conflict, where there's violence, where there's injustice. And then allow that circle to become wider, to include all of humanity and planet Earth. Let the awareness, the compassion and love that we cultivate in our practice become an offering. And I will recite the great invocation before we close out. But just rest in your heart. Imagine a beautiful light of love expanding in your heart center and streaming forth out into the world. Of knowing that you have access to infinite amounts of love from your source of your being. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of all. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of all. May Christ consciousness return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the lunar wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the divine plan on earth. Take a deep breath in, hold it for a minute, and now let go. May the awareness that we cultivate within ourselves ripple outward through the way that we speak, the way that we respond, and the way that we love, and the way that we move through the world. Thank you for showing up today and practicing with me. As always, I invite you to sit and journal. You know, today marks 2 full weeks of our practice together, 14 days. Don't dismiss what repetition is doing simply because the changes may not feel dramatic. Awareness often develops quietly. One day you catch yourself before saying the thing you would normally say. One day you realize you've been telling yourself a story and you start to question it. One day you realize you've been holding on to emotions that are no longer serving you or thoughts, and you realize that, I don't have to carry these bags anymore. So today's journal question is, what has changed in the way I observe myself, the way I interact with my thoughts and my emotions, and how I move through my day? So think about who you were on day 1 compared with today. What are you noticing about your thoughts, your emotions, your body, your reactions, maybe the way you speak to yourself, the space between something happening and what you do next, so how you respond or react. So don't only look for huge transformations. Sometimes a transformation is a 2-second pause that wasn't there before. And in that pause, you have a choice to respond with love. So keep breathing, keep pausing, keep practicing, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 15 of our beautiful practice together. Peace to all, light to all, love to all. Namaste. Thank you. So that was day 14 of our meditation challenge together. I don't know who joined me, but hopefully you're able to join and take part in this practice. You can still join the 30-day meditation challenge because every day I'm recording the meditation, and you will be able to access the recording, and you can start and pick up at any time. And like I said, you'll also have the recording so that you can use these practices anytime in the future. So thank you. I'll see you soon.